guys? The Super Review Show here. Star Trek 4 has finally been announced. I am beyond thrilled to have heard the report that came out that Star Trek 4 will be coming out on June 8th, 2023. That might be wrong. But anyways, it's coming out in June of 2023. This is an announcement that I've been waiting for literally since Beyond came out. Beyond was a fantastic film. I loved Beyond to death. And the question is, where do we go from here? Well, if for those of you who saw Beyond in theaters or saw it on demand or whatever, or when it came out, the Enterprise is finally on their 5-year mission. They're finally going out. They're finally doing their 5-year mission. And this is the continuing missions of the Starship Enterprise. So basically, I don't know where they're going to go with it. And I really hope that they do not. Here's what I hope they do, and here's what I hope they don't do with the new Star Trek movie. Number one, here's what I hope they do. They keep the Kelvin timeline, as unpopular as it still is for some people who are just like, I don't like them because they're different. Listen, the franchise is going in a different direction than the way that they're like this. It's a little bit more action, a little bit more sci-fi, epic-ish. So honestly, this being, I really hope it's still the Kelvin timeline. I still hope that it's continuing to be the Kelvin timeline with Chris Pine's Kirk and Zachary Quinto's Spock. I think because look, the cast chemistry is perfect. It's a near perfection to what was the original series. Let's be real. I hope they keep the Kelvin timeline because I've heard reports and rumors already online of like, oh my god, well they could do a Next Generation thing. They could do all we know is that we're getting a Star Trek movie in 2023 in June. I am already over the moon excited for it, no matter what, because the past 3 films have been really fun action, sci-fi, Star Trek adventure films. I've loved every single one of them, from Beyond, from 2009 to Into Darkness to Beyond. I think this franchise is doing very well quality-wise. The question is that I hope they do. I hope they lower the budget so this film they can pump out more of them. The biggest problem with the Star Trek movies so far is that Paramount's hoping for a huge return of the box office from a $180+ million budget. They need to have a $90 to $100 million tops, and marketing will probably be an extra 20 on top of that. It cannot go over $180 million for a Star Trek movie. It was great when JJ did it for the first 2, and Justin Lin directed Beyond, and he did a great job with that for the budget he had. But let's face it, these movies don't make as much money as Star Wars or Marvel, and that's just unfortunate, in my opinion. I think that they deserve a lot more money, but I think the way they make more of these movies, which have been highly received well by critics, user ratings are like above 80% on basically all the films. I really do think that if they lower the budget from 180 to like literally $90 million, you'd have more Star Trek movies come out sooner because they nailed the budget. One of the reasons I love the fact that they have Noah Hawley, I believe this is Noah Hawley directing, I might be wrong about that. Noah Hawley is attached to direct a Star Trek movie, as far as we know. I love the moment they announced this news because he knows television. He's a TV director, and he's going to come to Paramount and say, look, I'll make this movie for $85 million, and here's what your estimated profit revenue will be back after marketing costs as well. And hopefully they pump out this thing as soon as possible. Because let's face it, I don't want to wait every 4 years for a new Star Trek movie. I don't want to wait every 7 years. I would like these movies to come out sooner. Back in the 80s, when they had Star Trek the Motion Picture in 1979, 3 years later, we got The Wrath of Khan. 2 years later, we got Search for Spock. 2 years later, you see what I'm saying? The budget was low, the quality of the film was great, and they write a script that is well worth having a great quality script. The cast gets paid well, and the budget of the film does not cost $180, because that means your ticket prices go up too. And who wants their ticket prices to go up? Let's be real. So I hope Paramount does. They keep the Kelvin timeline. They keep this cast. I love the chemistry in all of these actors with John Cho and Chris Pine. Great cast with Bones. I'm forgetting. Carl Urban. Come on, Zachary Quinto. They are so great together. I really hope that they keep that timeline. Now, budget, timeline, where do they go down the line? Who knows? Let's face it. The original crew of Star Trek from the TV show had 6 movies with that cast. So, could they do 6 movies total and then do a Next Generation thing? And they bring back. They don't bring back. They have a new Picard. They have a new Frakes, not Frakes, a new Riker. They could do stuff like that down the line. I don't see it happening in the next I really don't see it happening in the next 10 years. I really don't. Because this franchise, the Kirk and Spock Star Trek, has been going on for so long. I think that they're going to run that course more. To be honest with you. I really think that they are going to do a great job with that, personally. And look, the quality of the films have not dipped. The first one, Star Trek 2009, was amazing quality. The visual effects were definitely there, but the quality of the story was still there. Into Darkness, yes. If you look back at it, and you know me, I gave it a 9 out of 10 or whatever. It does. I gave it a 9 out of 10 because it's gone down to an 8.5. I still love it. But there are a little bit of problems here and there. There's a couple of weird parts where Kirk comes back at the end with the triple blood and stuff like that. It's kind of strange parts, but whatever. Overall, it's still a fantastic, fun summer blockbuster. Beyond comes out, and it blows the other two away, in my opinion. Beyond might have been the best of the bunch, to be honest with you. I love that film. And like I said, I think I said this before. I don't really rewatch films, but I've rewatched these Star Trek movies more than I have watched any other film. More than Marvel, more than DC, more than Star Wars. Because the films are just made that well. And let's be real. If you make good art, it'll last a long time. So I really hope that they keep this going. So like it's a Kelvin timeline. Hope the budget's good. I don't know if it's official, but I really hope Noah Hawley comes in and does direct this. I know it's not 100% confirmed, but I hope he does come in and he does direct this movie because he wanted to do it in the first place. And a lot of hardcore nerd fans of him, back before Disney and Fox were going to come out, that he was going to do a Doctor Doom movie for Fox, but that got shelved because of Disney buying Fox. He's a guy, because Legion is great for when it was on. He's a TV guy, and I think he's going to be able to bring that element to Star Trek in a big budget form, but with his background in TV. So I think that'll definitely work. But what do you guys have to think about this? Are you excited that there's a new Star Trek movie coming out in 2 years from now? And how do you think they're going to bring the Kelvin timeline in? Do you think it'll be a brand new cast? What do you guys think? Will Noah Hawley direct it? Please jump down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what's your favorite Star Trek movie? Please jump down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this news. But for all of your Star Trek updates, keep it locked on the Super Review Show. The J-Man is off to work. We'll see you guys later.